What's up, Nova Heads? It's Amber Nova.
This is Chris Lights Out Lytle.
Hi, this is Ray Boom Boom Mancini.
Ice Boogie.
It's the real and raw August Art Swap.
This is Smiling Sam Alvey.
It's Archimedes.
I'm Jack Cartwheel, the real deal, the human highlight reel.
This is Steve Maury.
I'm Victor Henry.
Boy, Bulletproof Trooper.
Billy Stark.
It's ECW Original, The Enforcer, CW Anderson.
This is Honest John.
Hyper Tree.
Luis Moreno. And
It's Mr. Classic.
I'm Jason Punet.
The young goes right.
It's old Hattie Price here.
When I say what's my name, tonight.
Richie Slade.
My name is Gino Rivera, the Frank Sinatra of the Spanish Mafia.
The incredible one, Anthony Idol.
This is Ken Shamrock.
The Golden Boy, Jordan Clearwater.
Yo, watch and listen.
Championship online.
This is Alex Mars here. Hi, I'm Richard Modest.
So, please listen to it, otherwise be cursed. Okay, see you later. Love that house.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Alex from Championship on the Line podcast. We got a very special guest here today. He's a person I've been watching for over a while. He's been killing it over there in Canada, especially, being the Canadian Wrestling Federation champion over there and killing it. And also, if you haven't seen him, he's also one of the episodes of The Wrestlers. If you haven't seen it, go check that out on Vice. But I'm so excited to have him. He is wrestling's pop star, Jesse Bieber.
Oh my goodness.
Once again, Jesse.
How's it going, everybody? Super excited to be here, by the way. I'm pumped. I didn't realize you were following up on my career. This is awesome.
Of course, man. I gotta do my research, man.
You had to be ready. I love it. Drop the Vice stuff too.
Absolutely,
goodness.
Man. Absolutely. And once again, thank you so much for taking the time to be here. And I really wanted, for you for a while and watching from, Vice in your career. I want to get to that a little bit later. But first, we have to do a quick little segment before we get started. It's called Fun Questions. We ask about 10 fun questions to learn about your personal side. Is that cool? We do that for you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Awesome. And then the first question, what is your favorite movie of all time?
Oh,
and you can name more than one if you want.
I can name more than one?
Yes.
Okay. Well, before I answer this, I just want to say thank you for having me onto your podcast. This is exciting. I'm pumped about it. But my favorite movie, oh my goodness. I'm probably going to say Happy Gilmore. So
Nice.
With Adam Sandler, that's probably one of my favorites. And this one is probably going to shock the world. Bucky Larson, Born to be a Star.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I don't, not quite sure why, but it's one of those movies that always pop me, and I feel like I would watch it over and over, and I could not stop laughing. It killed me every time.
Nice. I think that's like our first. I don't think we ever had a Bucky Larson. We had a Happy Gilmore, but never a Bucky Larson. It's crazy.
Oh my! You probably will never have a Bucky Larson.
Right.
It really got some bad reviews on Rotten Tomatoes and everything else, but it's just one of those movies that were so corny and so funny at the same time.
Yeah. Awesome. And then with the next one, do you have a favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show? I think, not gonna lie, I'm a huge cartoon guy. So I'm huge into like Family Guy and South Park.
Nice.
But lately it's been a lot more of like Final Space. And I've been watching a lot more Friends recently. So Friends is actually up there too. But Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, nice.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That's a really good one too. Oh my goodness. I think I have a lot of TV shows that I'm a huge fan of now that I think about it. But actually, you know what? Top of the line, South Park. We got to go with South Park.
South Park number one? South Park
number one.
Awesome. And then with the next question, do you have a favorite like music artist or, band that you like to listen to?
My goodness, eh? Well, Justin Bieber is up there. I love my Justin Bieber. I listen to a lot more like trap style music. So lately it's been a lot like, well, actually Chris Brown's more R&B, but The Weeknd, huge fan of The Weeknd. Actually, I'm going to say The Weeknd. Let's go.
The Weeknd?
Gotta say The Weeknd.
And you're saying that The Weeknd and Justin Bieber, what is your favorite song from both of them?
Ooh, my goodness. When I was actually, funny story, when I was younger and I started as a referee, so this would have been like 13 years ago. I started coming out to One Time. So it was one of his like his biggest like, songs that he made at the time. So One Time would have been one of my favorites back in the day. And then now I gotta say probably Hold On.
Okay.
Hold On from
sure.
the Justice album for him. And then for the weekend, Sidewalks was really good with Kendrick Lamar from Starboy album. And let's go with a more recent one. His new one that just came out, Take My Breath. That was a pretty nice song actually too. My God, I'm sorry. I can name a bunch of songs from like the
No, man, go ahead, man. We encourage it, man. Awesome. And then with the next question, do you have a favorite sports team?
A favorite sports team? That's actually funny. I don't really watch a lot of sports, to be honest, other than wrestling. But if I got to pick something, I was actually a huge Habs fan before. So Montreal Canadiens, probably.
Okay, cool. Awesome. And then I don't know if you're a gamer, but if you are, do you have a favorite video game?
Oh goodness, Fortnite.
Fortnite. Quick with that one.
Oh my goodness, it's like all I play.
Nice. And then with the next question, outside of wrestling, is there like a hobby or anything you like to do outside of wrestling?
Music. I'm actually a huge musician. I play a lot of guitar, play a lot of drums. I sing, do a bunch of random things like that.
Okay, cool. And we'll get you into music.
I actually grew up with it. My dad, so I'm actually like a second generation kind of guy. Same with wrestling, actually, believe it or not. But with all that stuff, we kind of grew up doing it. My dad kind of built his own little band back in the day. Nice. So I maybe would have been 11 years old and I got my first drum set. And I would start playing with them. And my older brother was a guitar player. And then my dad would be the lead guitar player. And then my other brother would sing. So we literally had like a little band going on. It was actually pretty cute. But now I do a lot more acoustic stuff where I'm singing at like campfires and stuff like that.
That's cool, man. That's awesome, man. That's cool.
Yeah, I really like it.
That's awesome. And then the next question, do you have, before you enter the ring, do you have a ritual you like to do before you get in there?
Jumping jacks. I'm a huge jumping jack guy. I psych myself up. So I normally try to pump myself up because I know I got to come out with a lot of fire half the time. So I'm like, okay, I'm in the back just before I burst through the curtain, trying to like get myself all amped up, ready to go. And then hoping I hear the fans start going off. So once they go, that even adds to my pump, and then just bolt through and ready to go. Don't really think about much when I go running through, to be honest.
Awesome. And then with the next question, is there any place particularly that would you like to ever travel? Anything in your wish list would you like to go?
Just to travel in general, or like the wrestle travel?
We can do both. Yeah.
We do both. Okay. Would love to wrestle in Japan. Japan is probably the biggest one for me. I would love to obviously make it over to your neck of the woods actually eventually one time. So California would be a great place too. UK would be an awesome one. And I think UK and Japan would be a lot more of like just for pleasure as well, to be honest. I've always wanted to kind of go to Japan and just see what's going on over there and meet a lot of people.
Awesome. Don't worry. I know a little few promoters over there in California, Matt. Put your name out there.
Oh my goodness.
We'll get it done. We'll get it done. We got to get you over here to California.
Sorry?
We got to get you over here in California, man. We got to get you over here.
You keep me posted. I'll come any day of the week. As long as we can get over if the border lets us at this point.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
My goodness.
And then with the next final question, if you could have a match, right, that isn't a wrestler, I'm talking about you can have a match with a celebrity or a sports athlete or even a character from a TV show or a movie or even a video game character, who would it be? Who would Jesse Bieber go in the ring with?
Peter Griffin.
Nice. Right.
Peter Griffin or the giant chicken from Family Guy. They have way better matches and the psychology is great.
Awesome. And how would you see the match going? How would you see some winning?
Oh, I see me losing for sure. I'd put them over for sure. I'd want them to win. They're the stars here. We got to get them looking. We make them look good. That's what we got to do.
Nice. Again, really appreciate you taking the time to do this and do the podcast with me. And I really appreciate you taking the time. It's an honor to have you on. And
not a problem. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. And and everything, with everything going on, with COVID and everything, how has it been over there in Canada? How's the wrestling scene been over there?
Oh, well, honestly, for the past year, it kind of died for a while. Like I didn't see much going on. There was a lot of people actually trying to come up with cool ideas to see how they could keep wrestling without stopping. So we actually had a couple guys out in Toronto. Those guys started their own little backyard thing, which is actually pretty funny. It's pretty fun to watch. You can actually kind of go onto YouTube and check out all their stuff. I can't remember the name of it, but if I figure that out, I'll keep you posted. I'll send it over to you. But they started a little backyard stuff, which is actually Josh Alexander was in it too, as a walking or a dancing weapon or whatever I think his name was. But all those guys were doing some crazy things over there, which was pretty entertaining. And there were some other guys trying to do more of like IPPVs. So they were trying to run some shows without fans in the audience, trying to run just to get the wrestling still going and trying to get their promotion and stuff still doing well. As we were too, as Canadian Wrestling Federation, where we started Adrenaline actually. So all of our Adrenaline episodes have been going onto YouTube, and we started doing more shows where we may have had like 10 people in the crowd or 30 or something like that, just to kind of keep to our limits, because there's only so much we could do by bylaw and stuff coming in. But that was basically all that really started happening. It kind of was a little rough on a lot of us. So I know there's a lot of wrestlers, even a lot of my friends, who actually like dropped down a lot and they gained a lot of weight and they haven't really been in the ring a lot. So the ring rust really hit them. Me being one of them, actually. So I didn't really get a chance to do much other than the adrenaline stuff, which I still didn't really feel myself when I was wrestling. So the whole quarantine and lockdown really took a toll on a lot of us over here. So it's pretty rough.
No, absolutely not. Every person I've interviewed who's even said that it's even hard to even like be motivated when there's no shows, there's nothing going on. But hopefully everything will start picking up really soon. I know California is barely starting to pick up a little bit, start doing a little bit limited capacity. But also, I want to talk about the first time I ever saw you was the Vice TV show, the wrestlers.
Oh, nice.
Saw the episode, which I'm not just saying this because you're here, but that is my favorite episode of the season.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. I just like everything involved, with you and then the company and just how you guys go on. I believe it was a summer tour, right? I believe
that one was a summer tour, yeah.
The summer tour, and it just you guys just going based from city to city, and you can tell it's just like a family. You guys, all the wrestlers, and then your dad too, and it's just really cool, touching to see. And then it's the kids' reaction when you guys come. They're just crazy and just excited to see you guys, which was awesome to see. And I loved that episode. And what was it like, for you to be part of that, having a camera crew follow you guys? What was that whole experience like for you?
Oh my goodness, actually, it's crazy because you constantly have a camera on you all day long. Like the camera never leaves. I feel like even when there was times where we were eating dinner, which this is a lot of footage they didn't even end up using, but we'd be eating dinner and the cameras would be in your face watching you eating food and everything else, just trying to get all their back stuff, right?
Yeah.
But it was more cool to kind of see them come out and really experience what it was like to see like a reservation or a community out in Canada, right? So, because most of those places that we've gone to that you got to see, those ones we do in Quebec area, but those ones, they're all reservations and communities. So they're all like, a lot of them are isolated, not them so much. They got a little bit more of like all season roads and access roads that you can get to. But if Vice would have came on the Winter Road tours, those are the famous like Winter Road Death Tours. I don't know if you've ever heard of those, like Edge and Christian, all those guys went on. Those ones were run by Tony Condello. Those are ones that my dad actually runs now. So at this point, he took over for Ernie Todd, who was a president of AWA, NWA back in the day when they were all Alliance. And he took over for CWF, and they ended up running over all that. And then my dad took over, so we took over all the Death Road stuff. But they didn't get a chance to check out all that stuff, which is even more crazy. But I guess to get back to your question here, I'm sorry, my apologies. Kind of
no, go ahead. I love it.
To be a part of all the Vice stuff coming in was honestly a blessing. It was really cool. It gave us like a really cool idea of what it was like to be filmed all the time. So having a camera in your face all the time. They're filming all your matches. They're trying to get the kids' reactions and stuff on how they felt about things. They also wanted to know like how the vibe would be with everything else, like our storylines we would tell when we came out there. So like even having our Canadian Matthew Mounty, I don't know if you remember him.
Yeah.
So we would put him with one of like an Aboriginal or Indigenous wrestlers who are your real Canadians who were here first, right?
Yeah.
And the story would be like, okay, well, your true Canadian over here isn't really the true Canadian because your true Canadians are right here in front of you. They are the ones that you want to show and push over, right? So it was kind of cool to see the difference here. So Vice picked up on that right away. And they honestly, for their whole episode, that's what it was based on anymore, right? So they gave you the idea of what it was like to be on the reserves, to be in the communities, and show these storylines and how they all blend together. So it was really cool experience, to be honest.
Yeah, because I remember like even like when Matthew Mounty came out, I think they even put that as the intro. Like that was like the first scene they put in the show when he comes out in the ring, and everyone's booing him, and and I wanted to ask you, like, how long did they film you guys for? Like, how long were they there for?
That was a 2-week tour. So that one happened all in 2 weeks. But normally our bigger tours are like a couple months, which I wish they would have got to see some of that stuff. That stuff was crazy, but I don't think they could have did the whole month or whatever. I think that was the issue.
Oh, okay.
But 2 weeks was that one, and that was a really sweet tour. That was so much fun.
And it's crazy just to think about it, because like every day for 2 weeks, like getting up and doing everything, it's just a camera crew like right in front of you.
Yeah, literally.
So it's just crazy.
But they make things happen, though. I'll tell you, Vice, like those guys, like there was something that happened with their plane, and they made like people like get on the ball with their plane stuff, and they were just like, okay, get us a plane from here to here, and we'll make it happen. Don't care about the cost. Let's just do this.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you guys really want this to happen? Okay, good for you guys. Because like plane tickets to go from a reservation to a city is not cheap. But let me tell you.
Yeah. That's awesome. And then like talking about like even episode 2, like you even had a match with your dad. You guys had a one-on-one match, which was crazy. What was that the whole experience like too? Even getting that even footage too, and being shown on TV, having a match with your dad. What was that whole experience like for you?
To actually see it on TV was sweet. I felt like honored, I guess I could say, because me and my dad didn't really get to wrestle too much beforehand. And this was around the time where now we were getting in the ring a lot more together. And honestly, it was so much fun. I love working with my dad. My dad's a pleasure to be in the ring with, and just watching it on TV just made it extra.
Oh, absolutely. And I like him too, because like in the whole show, you could just tell that he loves it so much. Like he loves professional wrestling, and like he loves putting on these events. Like I remember even saying episodes like I don't do this for the money. Like I'm not a rich man. Like I'm not making a lot of money off of this, but I love doing this. I love putting these events for the fans out there, and you can just tell how much he loves the business, and also how he loves his wrestlers too. How he treats you and everyone out there, which is really awesome. And like I said, that was like reasons why it was like it's my favorite episode in the series. But talk about like how did wrestling get started for you? Were you a fan growing up as a kid? Like how did all your journey start to become a wrestler? How did it all start for you?
Oh man, I'm not gonna lie, I hated wrestling.
Oh.
Yeah, I know it's gonna seem a little off, but I never really educated myself. I was a music kid, so more of a music snob. So it's like I had to do everything music. Music was my passion. I even did like Canada's Got Talent at one point, and I was like trying to get more into that stuff. But for me, it was more of my dad's kind of dream to see his kids wrestle. So it was one of those things to me to pass time. So me and my brother started as a tag team when we were called Dance Mix Revolution at the time, and came in with all these Jabberwocky masks and everything else. But honestly, it was one of those things where I eventually fell in love with it because it was the acknowledgement from the crowd. When you can pull them in and you can have them doing everything with you and just getting excited about everything you do. You see me still?
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Something happened to my screen here. My apologies.
No, you're good.
So, I don't even know where I was. Where was I? The acknowledgement, sorry?
Talking about how you got started, your tag team with your brother.
Oh, okay, yeah. So tagging with my brother, like I said, it was the acknowledgement that pulled me in. So just kind of getting more invested with the crowd was the part that made me fall in love with wrestling. But I realized back in the I knew nothing about wrestling. So it was actually a maritime tour that I did with like the Duprees. So Emile Dupree, I don't know if you know Grand Prix wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those guys, I went on to that tour, and that's where I met like Tessa Blanchard and some other people that we were on the tour with, and or Bobby Sharp and Kat Von Hees, all those guys. I love those guys, by the way. And we honestly went out there, and I realized like my lack of knowledge on the whole wrestling business, because I watched like Rip Impact and Tessa talking about all these like past wrestlers and how they like taught them things, and they should go back and watch all these matches. And for me, I was like, I have no idea who these people are. Maybe I need to start educating myself on like the history of professional wrestling. So at that point, I just started really getting into wrestling, because you really could see the art and the magic of like what these guys put together and made happen in front of all these fans. So I think that helped me even love it more. So everything's been kind of like a slow evolution for me in wrestling. So it's kind of cool, actually.
And what was like, like the training, like who trained you, and what was it like that whole experience like for you?
My trainer was my dad. So my dad, being, I think he's 23 years in the business now, I think. But he had his own wrestling ring in the backyard at one point. So I was 8 years old, bumping around, rolling around, doing flips and stuff, which I do not flip now. So we should probably let all your viewers know you won't see any flips from this guy. So, but at the time, like, yeah, I would just train with my dad all the time. And then you meet all these other wrestlers and more of like your big vet names and stuff to start like basically mentoring you as you go along, right?
And also, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do remember in the episode that I remember, I think your dad was saying like before you wrestled, like you were a ref, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. How was that like for you being a ref? Because people always think that a referee is just an easy job. You just count 1 to 3. Tell us from your experience, what is refereeing being like? What was like for you?
Reffing's actually probably one of the harder jobs, in my opinion, because I feel like you need the psychology. You need to know what's going on in the ring. Like you need to know when to get out of the way. You need to know the calls to make and the secrets in the ring. So like if a wrestler gets hurt, you need to know what to do in that situation, right? So anything can happen. And as a referee, I feel like they're half the magic that's in the ring with you. So I think that's like, to be honest, I think it's a good thing if you're a new wrestler. Maybe even say this to all your viewers or all potential wrestlers that are about to start out. I recommend starting as a referee first. If you can start as a referee first and you learn your footwork, you learn how to be out of the way and learn your ring positioning, plus psychology will start falling with you. You'll understand when you get into the world of wrestling a little bit more, and things will just flow a lot more, and I feel like it'll just be one of those things that you can just grasp onto a little bit easier.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's even other wrestlers that done like even like ring announcing or even refereeing, and it helps. It helps a lot. People just go straight to wrestling. They don't know anything. That's psychology, especially if someone's like a casual, don't know anything about professional wrestling. They should at least be a ref or anything like that. It helps them, I feel like.
Oh yeah, you get the idea of like the backside of the business, which is good. Absolutely. It's good stuff.
Absolutely. And talking about going through training and everything, what was your first match like? Like, how did it feel for you to come out of the curtains for the first time? Like, what was that feeling like for you having your first match ever?
I was so scared. I was so scared, Alex. I was nervous because everything came at me so fast. It was one of those things where they were down a guy, and then they asked me if I could go out and do the match. And right away, I was trying to find every excuse in the book. I was like, I'm not ready. I don't have anything to wear to go out there. And it's actually, I think I made trash bag wrestlers at one point with that match, actually. So came out with like dress pants on, this like little like plaid overshirt. And oh my God, it was so bad. But I was just so nervous and I was afraid. I rushed through everything, didn't even think about anything. I just tried to get through the match. So it was one of those things I wish I could go back and tell myself now just to take it easy and calm down.
Yeah.
Can't win them all, Alex. You
No,
can't win them all.
I get it, man. So every like majority all of our wrestlers that we interviewed, like they have like, oh no, I didn't want to talk about my first match. Like it was so bad, or this. Like yeah, no, though, man. Everyone has, every first match story is always like, oh no, this happened or this happened. Like but, talking about the beginning, was there any film or anything you would watch on wrestlers to get like inspiration from your ring style? Was there anything you were trying to watch or get from this or from that when you were starting?
When I first started, I watched a lot of Too Cool, and that was just because mostly, actually, Scotty Too Hotty's amazing to watch in the ring. He's fantastic, and
so
everything he
underrated.
does is so fluent too, right?
Mm-hmm.
But those guys, it's like because we were doing such a dance gimmick, we wanted to make sure that we were doing things properly and made it fit somehow. I remember we actually had a match with those guys, and I felt like almost ashamed in ourselves because I feel like you met your heroes, and then Brian Christopher actually wasn't really the greatest person to deal with in the back, but Scotty Too Hotty, amazing. I love him.
Yeah.
And, I honestly I would love to be in the ring with that guy again at one point. He's one hell of a man, one great mind for the business. But I'm trying to think of some other guys. Kenny Omega. I love watching Kenny Omega because I try to take more of his selling styles. So the way he sells with things, the way he moves with his movements, like even like as simple as ducking a clothesline. It's amazing. The way his feet flow, like it's just his movement and his flowing. Like, and I think the one that really pulled me in is when you started watching Omega and Okada back when they had their 6-star match or whatever the rating was they ended up getting on that. But that was the match that really pulled me into watching him, and I really loved him at that point. I followed some of his other stuff where he was doing in early Japan days. But after that, I was a huge fan. I was like, he sold me. I want to see this man in WWE. He deserves it. He's great. I love him. And then obviously they're doing all their stuff now, which is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of some other guys here. Those would be the biggest influences so far. And then I think watching some guys like Finley, Regal, those guys for more your realistic, like real side of wrestling. That's the stuff that really made you really think about it. So it's like, okay, where's the realism coming from in your wrestling? Make sure that everything you do makes sense. Mm-hmm. Those guys were the biggest ones I started watching. And then the show, obviously, Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels. I feel like everyone watches Shawn Michaels. They want to be Shawn Michaels. He's just amazing to watch in general. So him, all like the show and psychology for sure.
Mm-hmm. But going back, creating gimmick, with Justin Bieber. How did that come about? Putting into Justin Bieber into your character. Well, how did that come about and getting that started?
Oh my goodness, this is back to my ref days actually. So I went on as a referee with the winter tours, and some kid walked over to me and said I looked exactly like Justin Bieber, which, by the way, now that I look back at it, I don't know what they saw, but apparently that's what they saw. And my boss at the time, Ernie Todd, he told the kids that I was related to Justin Bieber. And at the time they were doing Polaroid pictures. I don't know if you know what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quick little pictures. It comes out.
Picture comes out. Yeah.
Yeah. So at the time, like now that no one ever does that, which I feel like I want to bring it back, but they do all the Polaroid pictures. I remember I outsold all the wrestlers that night, and I'm just a referee. And we had no idea how. And walking back to the house or whatever that we were staying at, they told me to research Justin Bieber. So like, you need to find out who this kid is and why I made money off this and whatever it is. Because if this is the case, you are now going to be Justin Bieber's third cousin. Like, oh my goodness. I was like, well, I'm not Justin Bieber's third cousin. I really don't want to be the guy that says that I'm his third cousin. But I ended up looking him up. And at this time, he was like still super new. I think Usher just picked him up. And he just came out with One Time. So One Time or whatever the couple songs was. So One Time, One Less Lonely Girl, whatever it was. And I started coming out to that. And honestly, it just took over from there. I was Jesse Bieber ever since. I kept the dancing side of me. That's kind of why Dance Mix Revolution all fell together. So we ended up doing the dancing stuff. I would sing when I went in the ring. Like I'd actually have a guitar. So intermission, I'd be singing guitar for people. The beginning of my matches, actually, I came out to sing to all the kids, and the heel would come out and cut me off, and all the kids would lose their minds and get super mad. I'm like, wow, this is insane. But it all flowed from right there, man.
That's awesome. And then talking about like when you came out, like were you always a face, or were you a heel when you did that character?
All face.
All face. Okay.
Sure. To be honest, I don't really get to play heel a lot. I feel like I in my opinion, I think I'm pretty good heel. But and I think that my gimmick can be a really good heel because a lot of people really, if anything, I could be a brat. So if I'm a heel, I'm a brat, I'm a cocky kid. I really don't really care about anybody else but myself. Because I'm a singer, I can get really high pitched squeals. Like it's just all this stuff I feel like really like flows as a heel, and it's really nice. I can be a coward, like that's more of how it goes. But most of the time, people make me a face because it's just when you come out and it's just the style of gimmick. It's a pop star, and you always have to have fire. So it's easy as a face to come out and get everyone behind you because first of all, the music you're coming out to has got to be upbeat. So that already is getting everybody out of their seats. Excuse me. And then when you come through the curtain, as long as you keep the energy alive, the whole match, those people are going to stay with you. So I think people just like see me as a better face because, in my opinion, I'm probably a way better face than I am a heel, realistically. But
absolutely, I agree.
Oh well, thank you.
No, because like just watching like from all your matches, like I was watching some of your matches on YouTube and even watching like the show. You know, when you come out of the curtains, they get even like the kids get all crazy for you. They get so excited to watch you come out and wrestle. What is the difference, like psychology, you know, wise? Like, what's the difference between like wrestling from like the kids and then wrestling from like the older audience? Is it the same reaction? Is it different? Like, what is that like?
It's definitely not the same. More of my demographic of fans, it does lay more in the hands of the kids. They're the ones that really want to be like involved and get excited and ready to go, and they're having a blast because so those kids are the ones that I can get in the ring and just joke around with the whole match, and they're with me the whole time. So I just let the heel do a couple little things that bothers them, and they're so invested the rest of the time. It's actually way easier to work with kids than it is with anybody else. To work with adults, I find especially with this day and age, I think that we've taught them how to want more all the time. And I think we just keep giving them more and more and more. And now at this point, they expect so much from us. So now when we go out there to try and get them behind you, I feel like we're working a little bit more harder, which once again, not a bad thing. Like I actually like working when I get out there. So to actually to make me have to do a little bit more and add a little bit more energy to get them behind me, I'm okay with, but they're a lot more harder. So I feel like I have to hit a little bit cooler things to kind of get them behind me. There's also some other things where as long as like, if I can come up with a sweet storyline, I think at that point I could really pull them too. Because there was a match I had where I played the underdog and I just kept kicking out of things and trying to like make sure that people really could get invested in me because they didn't really know who I was either. So to come out as a face for adults in a place that's kind of nobody cares about me, nobody even knows who I am, to try and get these people behind me, I got to find a way to make them believe in me. So I looked at it like, if I can build a story where I can come out, get my butt kicked, but keep kicking out and show my heart and show the fire that I can come and follow behind that. I think with these guys, they're going to get behind me, which they ended up doing. So it was fantastic. By that time, we were having chants of like, you can't beat them and like things like that. And then by the end, I ended up having the roll up. So at that point, I don't really need to do a lot because I'm winning the match. So do the quick little roll up. Everyone in the building lost their minds. And at that point, it was fantastic. So I think with that, as long as you can get a nice story and you work a little bit harder, I think you can get the adults, but the kids are way easier.
Absolutely. And then like also talking about, you know, with the show, I remember you had a match with a wrestler from Pro Wrestling Noah that was also seen in the wrestling. What was that whole experience like to you? Because like I never always thought like, how is it when you're wrestling someone that doesn't speak, you know, the same language? How is it like with the language barrier? How do you guys communicate and how do you guys wrestle? What was that whole experience like wrestling with him?
Oh my goodness. First of all, I love Kaito. He's one of my favorites. Love him to death. But honestly, it's all body language at that point because you can't call anything, right? To be fair, I got to give them the world, like the most respect to them. They to speak all those kinds of different languages is insane. Like for them to come here, try to understand as much English as they can because they're in a whole different foreign country, and it's rough for them to try and understand. But just the amount of respect I have for them for doing that is insane. But for them, when they come here, you find those keywords or trigger words that they know, and you play off of those. So that way, when you say that, you can see that they grasp it. They'll give you some sort of acknowledgement and let you know that they understand what you're saying. And then you would just make sure that they understand too. So that way you're not just going, oh, okay, they get it. And then when you get out there and it gets botched, and you're like, oh, okay, well, what the hell? Like, blah, blah, blah. You don't really get mad about it. You more just, we can just flake it off, learn how to work on the fly, and then you just got to trust them. So at that point, call with your body language, find the trigger words, and then just go out there and trust each other.
Which was a great match. Watching, at home watching the show was a great match with you two. And also one of the things like I liked about the episode too is when you decided to run. I think you guys were like at the beach. You guys run to the ocean and the water. What was that whole like? What made you want to do that? What was like the story behind it going in there?
I definitely did not want to do it. I think someone told me to just run in there, and I was like, "You guys are nuts." They're like, "Jesse, just do it. It's for film." Oh, I guess, well, you got to do it when the camera's on you. So. Yeah. So I remember going, Rex told me, he's like, listen, man, if you run in there, I'll run in there with you. And I was like, all right, fine. Well, if somebody's coming in with me, I'll go. Of course, we go running, and Rex goes, see you later. And I'm just laying in the water. I was like, okay, nope, right out. And I made the mistake of going in there with any type of clothes on at all. I should have just went in there with nothing, because once I put my pants on and everything back on, like I was still freezing my butt off, because I think we went somewhere else after that. But then I think Tony Caribou just walked right into the water.
Yeah, you did like nothing. Like, I was like, what?
This guy's crazy, man.
Because I really like reaction was like, well, what is he doing? And you just see him like walking in there, like
cruising like it's nothing. I'm like, oh well, I didn't feel my legs.
I like how like Damien even asked Kaito like, "Oh, do you guys do this in Japan?" He's like, "No, like we don't do that."
No, Kaito's like, smart. That's the problem.
Yeah. He's like, "You do some Marufuji?" He's like, like nope.
Yeah, do that. Nice. Yeah, I don't think they do that stuff. They're smart over there.
But hey, it made great content though. It was great.
It did make good content. I'm shocked it made it, to be honest.
Well, even like watching back like that episode, was it that when it premiered, was it the first time that you actually saw it, or did you watch it before it even premiered?
They actually released it a year or two after they did it. So whenever it took them to edit everything, they released it, but it didn't really get far. So I don't even think they released it with like MTV and everything yet. I think they were trying to finish the season out. So when we got our episode, we were episode, what were we? 4 or 5, something like that?
Yeah, I believe 5 or 6. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that, which I know they still finished it off with. I think there was another 4 episodes they still had to go film. So, or even 3, whatever it was. It took them a little bit. So they filmed it and they sent it to us, but it was like locked in a YouTube thing. So we just watched it on YouTube for the longest time. And then all of a sudden I started hearing about people watching my stuff on MTV and MTV Canada, Viceland, and it started blowing up all over the place. And I was like, oh, I didn't even realize they were airing that now. I thought it just kind of was one of those things we did and it just died. So I was like, well, it was a cool experience, but I mean, nothing really happened with it. And then all of a sudden I'm going to New York and I'm meeting people at a TGI Fridays, and they're telling me that they saw me on Viceland. They're like, oh, I know you. You're Jesse Bieber. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Like, that's
awesome.
It's a pretty sweet moment. I'm not going to lie.
So was there anything that didn't make it to like the final cut? Was there any scenes or anything that went on that didn't make it to the show that you guys did?
No, not really. I think that was majority of the stuff that actually made it. Like that was the biggest moments that happened and made the cut. It was more of like the little like scenes in the back that didn't really make it, right? So like when you were in the back, like talking with some of the wrestlers, like because that tour you wouldn't even know Rene Dupree was on that tour.
Oh, and, really?
Yeah, and you didn't see him on camera once.
No.
Bobby Sharp was another guy that I really feel like should have been on camera because first of all, he looks amazing. That's the guy I played musical chairs with.
Yeah.
So that guy, he's honestly one of my favorite opponents to be in the ring with. And he Honestly, he should have been on that. I feel like it looked like $1,000,000 and he should have just been on there. But I feel like he was just trying to avoid the cameras. So there was a couple of times, so Renee, him, a couple other people that really didn't make it on there. So they really highlighted a lot of like our Cree members and Kaito, myself, Chris Thorne, and then I think that was really it, eh? I don't know. Oh, and Matthew Mounty got a little bit of a shout out there.
Yeah.
Actually, there's some people that I actually meet who have watched it. Always the first thing they say is Matthew Mounty. Yeah. I was like, I love it. Matthew Mounty made the cast.
It's even crazy too, because like he comes up, he's a heel. But then like they show him after like the show, like people taking pictures and getting autographs. I'm like, oh, cool, like at least they like him because like he comes off like a very heelish thing when he comes out.
Yeah,
so it's really cool. Like he got love, and then like, so it's crazy. So like you were talking about like Sharp and then Dupree, like did they actually recorded them, or they just didn't want to be filmed, or what was like
if they saw the camera, they turned around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was one of those things they just didn't want to be recorded, so they just turned around and walked away. But I kept bothering Bobby, so I'd be like pestering. I was like, "Get on the camera, man! You can do
go,
make the camera."
And it also too, like it's exposure for you guys. So like if there's camera there, just go, go.
Well, that's exactly what it is, right? Like at the time, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really think anything of it. I thought it was one of those things. I was like, "Oh, these guys are just trying to get a couple video things, and they're just gonna do whatever with it." And I heard of Vice at the time. I was like, "Oh, they're great, they're huge," but I was mostly just hoping for Instagram followers. Oh, that's what didn't make it. I made a shout out for my Instagram. They didn't put that in there, and I was in the middle of my match. I like looked right at their camera as they were filming during my match. I said, "Follow me on Instagram," and I like shot my Instagram at them, and they never made the.
Oh man,
I was upset about that.
And also, like, what was like also working with Damien? Like, what was he like?
Damien?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a super cool guy. Really had a lot of fun with him. He's easy to talk to, actually. We gelled really nice actually over music.
Oh yeah, because he's like in a band too, right? Like he does music.
I think he's the lead singer of a band out in was it Quebec? Somewhere, I can't remember. But yeah, he's great, dude. Loved him. He was awesome. Even some of the camera guys were really cool. There's another guy who did most of the editing that I really liked. Can't remember his name either, but they were really cool. I think I follow some of them still on Instagram, but haven't reached out to them in a long time.
Oh, okay. But yeah, like I said, like really liked that episode, and talking about you're also the CWF champion. What was it like also, winning that title the first time? Like, what was that whole feeling experience like for you to be the champion?
Oh, it was so cool. It was really cool because like there's two different vibes, to be honest. When you're on the road, I feel like the belt's constantly being turned over all the time. So with me, I was always being a champion. It was cool that he put the belt on me. I thought that was really cool. When I won the belt here at home was a way different experience. That one, it was like, it meant a lot more because I was in the ring with like a Cody Deaner and Tyson Dukes. And both those guys are amazing to be in the ring with. And it was during one of our bigger shows. I don't know if you've ever heard of our Resolutions.
Yeah.
Yeah, so one of those shows, we had like 700-800 people in that crowd. So, and I got to win the belt that night, and it was insane. Loved it, like the vibe, the energy, like people didn't see it coming, and it was just one of those things that it looked like it was going to somebody else, but it never made it there. It was so cool.
That's awesome. And then like you're talking about like even like some of the things like Resolution, like I remember even seeing like your post, like you worked with like Eddie Edwards too. I think it was Resolution 9, I believe.
Yeah.
What was that feeling like too, working with him?
So cool. He's so cool. I'd love to be in the ring with him again at some point, because there's even things that I watch back and I'm like, I want to do this better. Like I can definitely get in there and do things better. But for the first time with us two working each other, mind blown. I'm like mind blown of like the chemistry we had together.
Absolutely. And it's crazy because like I mean, like I always liked watching like Canadian wrestling, because obviously some of the home of the best wrestlers out there in the world of all time. And some
we got Canada, some great ones here.
And as someone that watches all types of wrestling, do you think especially when it comes to like scouting or comes to even discovering wrestlers, even like Diddy going out there and scouting, do you believe that there's a lack of going out there not doing enough scouting in Canada?
It does feel that way. I'm not gonna lie. Like I feel like we get overlooked a lot, and we
Mhm.
do have some great Canadian talent here, like you
Oh,
said.
absolutely. Mhm.
And some of the guys that I've been seeing lately, it's been really cool to kind of see them getting the big push. Like Josh Alexander, I believed
Absolutely,
deserved
yeah.
a push for so long. And seeing him actually be like X Division champion and everything else now, it's amazing. I love it for him. And he deserves it out of anybody really that I know. And another guy like even Cody Deaner finally getting the big push. And I
Yeah.
believe that this is all because of Impact really starting to like grab onto these guys, and seeing
Mhm.
Impact do some stuff with AEW and stuff now is actually, I believe that's opening the eyes maybe even to WWE, so they can actually start seeing what we have around here, which
Mhm.
I think would be awesome, because I really believe that we have some really cool talent here, and I believe we have some great people to even talk to and be in the back locker room with.
Mhm.
So I do believe
That's-
there's a little bit of a lack of scouting around here.
Because especially like guys like you, like guys like yourself, with such great talent, and
thank
it
you.
kind of frustrates me when you see like WWE doing like performing centers, like want to work with, like, obviously, don't get me wrong, like working with Japan is great and all these other places, but I'm like, put one in Canada. Like, why are you not like doing it in Canada? Like, there's so many good wrestlers out there in Canada. Like, I just feel like it kind of frustrates me. Like, why are you not pushing to go over there in Canada? There's so many great wrestlers over there.
It would be cool to see, that's for sure. Performance Center in Canada would be amazing.
Mhm.
I think they were doing a little one in Toronto there. So Santino Marella has a school there, right? And it's called Battle Arts.
That Arts, yeah.
Yeah, so them, I know they have a school there, and some of the guys that were going there, I thought that place was going to be a performance art, but I guess it just never ended up happening.
Mm-hmm. And in talking about, like you were mentioning, you want to go travel, to Japan, as of now, like, what are your goals as of now? Like, is there any particular companies you want to sign? Like, is there a company that you want to sign with or you want to work with? Like, what is your goals as of now?
To sign with?
Mm-hmm.
If I got the opportunity to sign with a company, and we're talking about Japan? Or
Yeah,
are you
I mean,
talking anywhere?
Anywhere.
Anywhere? Well, if it's Japan, New Japan for sure. I'd love to work for them. That's the biggest like highlight of my life if I ever made that. Another one, honestly, I would say WWE.
Okay.
I'm still a WWE mark. I feel like even a lot of people have their kind of it's or whatever with whatever they want to feel with it. I think it's just one of those things. I grew up knowing WWE and knowing that like, my dad's biggest dream was WWE. I think for me too, I feel like that'd be something that even I can like connect with my dad with too. I was like the fact that we both got to walk through that door and give it our all and try whatever we could do. I think that'd be a sweet little bonding moment for us. But WWE would probably be the biggest one. But I would still sign with like other promotions. Obviously, I love the
like
other
Impact or
yeah, like
AEW.
Impact's another one. Like Impact is actually one that I love watching. I think that they've been I think they've been fantastic for the last while, right? So watching them, I've been excited to see it. The only thing that's kind of been rough with them is just not having the fans, right? So watching that's kind of been rough.
Yeah, recently now they're adding fans now.
And it's just the vibe with fans is amazing. Like, but I gotta say that those guys did the best that they possibly could for having lack of fans in that building. And honestly, I would give them where credit is due. It's amazing, and I'm super like impressed with what they could pull off with nobody in the crowd, especially for live TV, right? Like that stuff can't.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But I would definitely sign with an Impact. They're amazing.
So yeah, I'd love for you to like sign Impact. Just thinking about the matches, even anywhere, like MLW or Impact or AEW, I know you'd be a great fit. And
Actually, I forgot about MLW. They're fantastic too. Thank you for reminding me. Actually, my goodness.
No worries. And talking about promotions, but when it comes to wrestlers, is there anyone that is particularly you want to work with?
Is there anyone? What? Sorry, you kind of cut out here a bit.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, just talking about with promotions. Is there anyone that you want to work with? Any wrestlers particularly you want to step in the ring with?
Wrestlers and promotions, Avery. I want one time with Kenny Omega. I need a match with Kenny Omega. Some other guy. Honestly, I'd love to have a singles match with Josh Alexander. Going into more of the stateside, I guess, even Brian Pillman and stuff. There's some guys that I actually would be interested in being in the ring with. There's actually so many guys I'd love to be in the ring with. I don't even know if I can name them all. Like a bunch of AEW talent I'd love to be in. There's a lot of guys from MLW I'd love to be in the ring with. Like Davey Richards is there too. even some ROH guys. I don't even know if he's still doing anything, but a guy I really wanted to be in the ring with was the Villain.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know what happened to him. He just kind of fell off the map, eh? But
Yeah,
he was a guy I really wanted to be in there with too.
Nice. Yeah. But hopefully, man, I would love to see that. The names you just named, I absolutely would love to see that. And like I said, you're the person I really wanted for a while, and watching your work. You're a great talent, great wrestler, and someone that's watching this and wanting to become a wrestler, wants to get into business. What advice can you give to someone that wants to step in the ring?
Oh my goodness, just be humble and listen. That's the best advice that I could probably say, because I feel like a lot of people come into the business now and I feel like they just want to be amazing right off the hop, and it's just not going to happen. Just take your time, learn the basics, learn the fundamentals, and really try to pick people's brains, because I really feel like nobody asks the vets anymore about stories and experiences and what they could learn from them, right? I feel like it's more of like they do a match and they try to show off, and then they'll ask them and just be, what'd you think of my match? And then when they go to tell them, they're like, you don't know anything. Like I really want to see people try now. And I feel like there's so many like people that are amazing nowadays, and you watch them all, but I just feel like some of the new guys coming in, you never really get to see them like really want it and really want to like learn from the people that paved the way. So
no, absolutely,
just stay humble and listen.
Yeah. Great advice, absolutely. And once again, really appreciate you taking the time to do this with me. Really appreciate everyone. Like I said, I wanted you for a while. And man, thank you so much. And real quick, as we're wrapping up, is there anything, any shout outs or anything you want to plug in?
Honestly, just follow my Instagram at Wrestling's Popstar. You can follow me there. And then my Facebook as Jesse Bieber. I don't really use my Twitter, so who cares?
Awesome. Once again, thank you so much, man. Really appreciate it. It's an honor to have you on, and thank you so much. And again, for the people watching and listening on Apple Podcasts and YouTube, please go check out Jesse Bieber. Check out all his matches. You go look up on YouTube and go follow his all social media. So we even put the links in the bottom below. Give him a follow and support Jesse Bieber, and also and watch the wrestlers. It's on Vice. It's on MTV. Go watch it. Definitely, it's a great episode. It's my favorite episode, and definitely go check it out and give them support. And absolutely, once again, Jesse, honor to have you, and thank you so much, man.
Oh, thank you so much to you guys. It was a pleasure.
Awesome, thank you. And that's gonna do it for us here at Championship on the Line podcast.